The Spotlight, shining a light on podcasts and videos that have caught our attention.
Hi and welcome to The Spotlight. My name is Jen Spiker and today I'll be sharing some of the highlights from the recent Love in Action Visionathon. Twice every year, Vision holds an on-air fundraiser called Visionathon. There's a financial goal for Visionathon, but the real gold during the appeal is the stories of God at work in people's hearts. Today, we'll hear stories of a lady who found God while in prison, someone who invited God into his mental health journey, and another man who made a radical decision to put love in action.
The Spotlight with Jen Spiker.
Mel in Lismore. Mel Wells. Hello, Mel. Welcome along.
Good morning, Mel. How are you going?
I'm going really well. Hey, you've got an interesting backstory, Mel, and I wonder if you'd like to share a few things with us because you first came into contact with Vision via a Word for Today. But tell us about your circumstance when you came into that contact.
I actually found Vision Christian Media on a radio app as well, on a Walkman I had while I was in prison. So, yeah, I wasn't a Christian before I'd gone to prison and found God in a Kairos ministry. And the local chappie in the prison had given me a copy of Word for Today, which had in there your local radio station. So I started listening to the app and enjoying the worship music and listening to the breakfast show and the program The Story.
And your story's not unfamiliar to some, where so many, while in prison, actually find Christ. And sometimes, getting out of prison, things are difficult to adjust to. Was there some support that came around the Word for Today and Vision when you got out of jail?
Yeah, definitely. I found a lot of comfort in reading the Word for Today and listening to the Vision radio. And then being fortunate enough to have a new community of people that were open and loving to helping me turn life around. And fortunately, I do that now today myself for a program we've got called Desert Road for women coming out of prison, that God gave me a vision when I was leaving prison, and I've just turned that into a reality.
And I like your concept of paying it forward. The thought that somebody paid it forward for you to have access to the Word for Today, for you to have access to Vision, and you're involved in all sorts of things in your community there in Lismore. Give us a little challenge here for listeners. We're at the start of Visionathon. There's a certain sense in which you give. You are paying it forward. What's your encouragement, Mel, to other listeners to give today?
I just want people to realise how important you guys are to people like me who, hadn't found Christ before prison and then was just encouraged by what you guys have on the radio and on your magazine every month. And, in an ideal world, I'd love for, Vision Radio to be able to be played in prisons on iPads and all that sort of thing now that they've got all that available. And also your Word of Today to be able to go into the prisons and the chaplains be able to hand them all out willingly, because it opens a door for so many people. And, my life wouldn't be where it is today without people like you guys who helped me turn life around. And I just think it's important to pay it forward, and we do that with Desert Road, and, our women listen to you guys, and we have Word of Today sitting in the accommodation for the women, and it's just a really important ministry that, is valuable to a lot of people, whether you hear from them or you don't.
If you have a favourite podcast or video series that you want featured on The Spotlight, click Contact Us at vision.org.au and share the link.
For people who've been listening to Rise and Shine for a little while, we got to meet you when we did the Bow Desert Live, the live cross out there. You popped on in and you just felt like family straight away. We've seen you at, a couple of live concerts as well and got to know you a little bit. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing amazing, man. I mean, this journey, it's everything that I've been missing in my life, and it's just, man, I feel like I'm floating, man. It's cool. I'm getting guided by Jesus in my life, and it's thanks to you guys, really.
That's so good. So, Cole, tell us how this relationship started. You, I believe, found Vision when we came to Brisbane on DAB.
Yeah, so firstly, I probably need to say that I've always sort of felt God tugging at me and always there. But I've never been able to find a way to connect, and that's the previous history. But I started a new job in late 2022, November, December. Got given a car as a sales rep for that job, and it had DAB radio on it. I was scrolling through the channels, looking at the same old regular stations, and pretty not excited about it. and I saw Vision Christian Radio come up, and I said, "Man, I'm going to give this a go, right?" So I've clicked on it, and man, praise God, I haven't turned it off since 2022 November. So it's been a wild ride. I've been praying. Man, I felt so foreign praying, but man, I've learned so much through Vision. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Vision's been a big part of it. God's been using it in this newfound Christian walk for you. Is there one thing in particular that you've heard from Vision, while tuning in? Is there something that God has used while you've listened to it? You've gone, oh my goodness, and the penny dropped for you.
Yeah, the main thing, the most important thing that I've been missing this whole time. I've been trying to pray and connect straight to God, right? And wondering why I haven't been being listened to. I accepted Jesus into my heart. I repented. I accepted Jesus into my heart. And from that moment on, man, it's been an up and down walk, because there's moments I'm going, what am I doing believing in this stuff? And then from then on, I knock it in the head again. I do my prayer walk, and then it's there, and I feel the Holy Spirit there, man. It is exciting.
And Kyle, I believe on the weekend you actually took another step and got baptised.
Yeah, so I've started waking up at 4:30 and doing an hour and a half prayer time walks in the morning. Now, I was a late sleeper. I would try and sleep in to the last minute before going to work, all of this stuff. I'm up at 4:30, sometimes 4, walking, looking at the stars in Jimboomba, going, this world's amazing. So I do my prayer time, and I pray on everything now. Over my family, my friends, and my path. I ask God to direct me in my path. So I was praying, and I said, what's my next step, Lord? And I'd already heard one of the interviews with Pastor Dave Quack out at Living Temple Church there at Tugun. I'd heard that, and it was about mental health, right? Now, I've suffered mental health in my life for a lot, and I've been medicated for that since 2010. I thought that let's connect with Jesus, let's start living right, let's walk, let's do all the healthy stuff, and I'll be able to get off that medication straight away. Well, I tried that journey, and to be honest, I fell off the wagon again. And it was a deep, dark sort of place to be. So I bounced myself back up on medication, and I didn't give up on prayer time and Jesus. And then I was praying, and Dave Quack came on the radio, and he said that he walks with mental health, which was awesome for me to hear, and that he also walks with Christ. So he journeys with Christ, but he also has his mental health and his medication. Now, that was just a massive eye-opener for me. I from that point knew that. And one of his statements was, you need all the tools in the toolbox, right? Yeah. You need God, you need your medication, you need your fitness, you need your healthy diet. You need all these things to help you stay on the right path, and that's walking with Christ. And once I accepted Jesus, all those things fell into place and started happening anyway.
The Spotlight.
We've got a unofficial Vision ambassador on the line with us, the amazing Peter. You're sitting out there with the birds, mate.
I am sitting out with the birds.
Now, what's an unofficial Vision ambassador do?
Well, I go out and do some outreach quite often, every week actually, and I use the Vision bookmarks and the Vision wristbands, and along with other tracks and things. But I use the Vision material. I have recently been saying to people, picture when I hand them a bookmark, I say, picture it like one of those electronic door openers that you put in the little slot, and then the door will open in your resort or something like that. Because when you enter into Vision, it's just a huge place of beautiful music, great teaching, answers to prayer. I see time and time again through the material on Vision Radio.
Well, it's great to hear that you're opening those doors, Peter, for people to, I guess, experience all that Vision has to offer. And I mean, even the fact that you're giving away prayer bookmarks, I mean, that's reminding them that there's a prayer service available. There's so much.
Yep.
But this Visionathon, our theme is love in action. And I've got to say, I mean, I'm just reading some of the notes here about you and your story. And love in action is profound. I mean, just tell us briefly a bit of your story from your early childhood where your father actually killed your mother, but you made a pretty amazing choice to put love into action for your father later in life.
Yeah, well, I can't take any credit for it. It was God who did it. The Lord spoke to me and said I had to find my dad. I'd only ever visited him once in the 20-odd years that he'd spent in prison.
Wow.
And then the Lord said to me, I had to find my dad, and I found him in the hospital in the intensive heart care ward. And it was that obedience to what God said. And in that, then he was showing me that I had to be free of the unforgiveness and bitterness of what had happened as a child before he passed away, so that I had that opportunity while he was alive to do that. So, yeah.
That's incredible.
I cooked him meals and wrote some letters for his family because he couldn't write anymore, and sat him down one day and said, let's organise what you want for your funeral before you pass away, because it'll be the only chance you're going to get to really influence your family in a good way. And we did that, and then he said, I'd like to be buried in the same plot as your mother.
Wow.
So I had to go to my three brothers and say, well, my vote is yes, and that's where he's buried.
Wow.
That is amazing.
That is love in action right there, Peter.
Yeah.
On the Spotlight, we've been listening to some highlights from the recent Visionathon fundraiser. There's much more to Peter's story, and Eric Scatterbo has been put on the case to capture that for the story. There are lots more encouraging Visionathon highlights, like you've heard, in the Watch tab on the Vision app. Just scroll to the Visionathon channel to be encouraged. My name is Jen Spiker. Join me next time as I share more highlights from Visionathon.
For more great podcasts and videos like the one featured today, check out vision.org.au or the free Vision app.